I remember looking around like, oh, I'm not as tall as him, I'm not as strong as him. That was when I first really, and the temptation for me at that time was to think about what I couldn't do.
The sun hasn't even fully risen over East Oakland, and already something feels different in the air. Because today, a promise that started 7 years ago is about to reach a number nobody thought possible. 25. 25 schoolyards. And it all comes down to this one at Prescott Elementary, where broken asphalt and rusted fences are about to become something else entirely. But to understand why this moment matters so much, we have to go back to 2019, before championships, before this foundation had a name that anyone recognized. Steph Curry was already one of the most famous athletes on the planet. Ayesha Curry was already building an empire of her own, in kitchens, in cookbooks, in the hearts of people who'd never even watched a basketball game. But something was gnawing at both of them. Not far from the arena where Steph made his living draining threes in front of 18,000 roaring fans, there were kids just a few miles away who didn't have a safe place to play, who didn't know where their next meal was coming from, who were falling behind in reading before they even had a chance to catch up. So they made a decision. A quiet one, at first. No press conference, no headline. Just two people asking a question that most people with their level of fame and fortune never bother to ask. What if we actually fix this? Not with a one-time donation, not with a photo op, but with a real, structural, years-long commitment to the city that made Steph who he is. That question became eat, learn, play. 3 simple words. 3 pillars holding up an entire mission. Nutrition, because a child can't learn on an empty stomach. Education, because literacy is the door that opens every other door. And play, because every kid, no matter their zip code, deserves a place where they can just be a kid. Nobody knew, in those early days, how far this would go. The first schoolyard transformation felt almost experimental. A patch of cracked concrete turned into something colorful, something alive. But then something happened that even the Currys didn't fully expect. The kids started showing up differently. Attendance ticked up. Teachers noticed changes in behavior. Parents started talking. Word spread through Oakland like wildfire, from one school to the next, from one neighborhood to another, and what started as a single playground became a movement nobody could stop. By 2021, they were unveiling schoolyards at places like Franklin Elementary. By 2023, they'd made a jaw-dropping public pledge, $50 million, aimed squarely at the nearly 35,000 students inside the Oakland Unified School District. Meals, books, multi-sport courts, outdoor classrooms, a literal mobile resource bus rolling through the city, delivering food and stories to families who needed both. And still, the number kept climbing. 6 schoolyards became 17. 17 became 20 plus. And through all of it, one number hovered just out of reach, glowing on the horizon like a finish line nobody was sure they'd actually cross. 25. Because here's the thing about big promises. They are easy to make in a press release. They are brutally hard to keep. Every single schoolyard meant navigating construction timelines, funding gaps, community input sessions where kids as young as 7 were asked to literally help design their own playgrounds. Every mural had to be painted. Every garden had to be planted, watered, tended. Every basketball court had to be poured and leveled and painted with the exact same care Steph puts into his own shooting form. This wasn't charity happening from a distance. The Currys showed up, again and again, surprising kids at Lockwood STEAM Academy, standing in the rain at Allendale Elementary, reading books out loud during the holidays at Korematsu Discovery Academy, year after year, refusing to let this become just another celebrity foundation that fades once the cameras stop caring. And now, we arrive at Prescott. Picture it, a schoolyard that, for years, offered these kids nothing but cracked pavement and forgotten dreams. No color, no safety, no spark, just a gray, flat reminder of what had been overlooked. But not anymore, because today, that same patch of ground has been reborn. A kid-designed playground rises where the cracks used to be. A brand-new multi-sport court gleams under the morning light, ready for pickup games that will shape friendships for years to come. A community garden, bursting with green, offering not just vegetables but a lesson in patience and growth. An outdoor classroom, where lessons won't be confined to four walls anymore, and a mural, vivid and enormous, telling every single child who walks past it that they matter, that someone believed in them enough to build something beautiful just for them. This is Schoolyard number 25. 25 sites, thousands upon thousands of children touched, millions of dollars invested, not as a gesture, but as a genuine architecture of change across an entire school district. And as Steph and Ayesha walk through the gates at Prescott Elementary, surrounded by kids who are screaming, laughing, pointing, running toward the new equipment like it's Christmas morning, you can feel it. This isn't the end of the story. It's a milestone inside a much bigger one. Because remember, this same foundation didn't stop at playgrounds. They turned around and pledged $25 million more, this time aimed directly at the literacy gap, determined to give 10,000 elementary students the reading support they need over the next 5 years. On the very same day Steph signed a massive contract extension with the Warriors, he and Ayesha were signing something else entirely, a commitment to kids who will probably never see him play in person, but who will grow up in a city transformed by his presence. So when you look at Prescott Elementary today, understand what you're really looking at. It's not just paint and rubber flooring and shiny new hoops. It's proof. Proof that fame can be pointed somewhere meaningful. Proof that a promise made quietly in 2019 didn't fade when the spotlight moved elsewhere. Proof that one city, one district, one child at a time, real change is possible when the people with the power to walk away instead choose to stay. 25 schoolyards down. But if you know anything about Steph Curry, you know he doesn't stop at a milestone. He treats it as a starting line. And somewhere across Oakland right now, there's already another cracked, forgotten schoolyard waiting for its turn. Waiting for its own transformation. Waiting for the Currys to show up, once again, and prove that this was never just about basketball. It was always about the kids who were watching from the sidelines, wondering if anyone would ever build something just for them. Now they know the answer.